everybody. Hello, great to see you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Hello to everybody on the live stream who couldn't be here. And hello again to everybody who's in the room. I'm so happy to be here tonight with Kareem.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Obviously, we've known each other for a while, been a fan of your show and of everything that you do, and I'm so excited to be having this conversation with you today, to be talking about what we do, the shows that we make, and why we love doing what we do, and kind of our view on, I guess, the digital landscape and culture, I feel like. And then we've got time for some questions at the end as well, so super excited to hear from you guys too. So yeah, how's it going, Kareem? How are you finding London?
I'm finding I'm finding it really great. I went to Hot Pot last night. It was quite fun.
Yeah, quite fun.
It was quite fun, and I woke up today feeling a little puffy, but I'm okay. But I really did want to congratulate you on 10 years of Chicken Shop. Give it up for Amelia, everyone. What she's made is incredible and so inspiring, and I'm honored to be up here with you.
Thank you. And you don't look puffy at all.
That's because I did a face massage.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay,
I found one on
YouTube.
I did it on YouTube, and I got all the poison out. You push it here, and then you push it down.
Oh, I've heard that works.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
Everyone should try that at home. Pushing the poison out of your face with your bare hands.
Yeah, I mean, it works. I'm surprised you don't do it all the time.
I do it all the time. Why do you think I look this good? Hello.
You look wonderful.
Thank you. So Subway Takes, one of my favorite shows online. I mean, I feel like you must get asked this all the time because I do. But how did it start? Like, where was the inspiration from? Were you just sat on the subway one day and had a take?
Yeah, I was just like, what are all these people thinking about? Let me find out.
For real?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it started in the way that most things start, which is that it was birthed out of failure. So at the time, I had been trying to create premium, long-form, scripted, cinematic podcasts.
Okay. So, can you explain?
Yeah, it's like, the way I would describe it is like movies for your ears. So I was like, oh, this is an interesting thought, an idea to like write scripts, hire actors, do sound design, make it ultra premium, and see what happens. And guess what happened? It didn't work at all. And
shocking.
It didn't work at all. And we had like $10,000 left in our bank account, me and my business partner, Andrew, who started the show with me. And it was like, what if we did the exact opposite of premium, long-form, scripted, cinematic podcasts and made literally the shortest, worst version of what we were trying to do. And part of the desire was that so many of my friends would ask me like, hey, we should start a podcast. And I'd be like, why? Because, you know, I come from a comic background, and be like, I need clips for my Instagram. And then I had this moment where I realized, like, what if the clips were the podcast and there was no podcast?
Wow. I love that, like, you went into it being like, I want to make something that's bad, and like the worst thing that I could maybe do for like with my creativity, and it actually turned out to be like the opposite of bad.
Yeah.
Because I actually feel like in a landscape which is like so oversaturated now with videos, that yours really stand out as being like so credible, thoughtful, and funny, and well made.
Thank you.
Like, how did you? I mean, you're saying that you wanted it to. Well, you thought it might not be great, but I'm sure you went into it wanting it to be good.
Yeah, no, of course I wanted it to be good. The lesson was that it was just the exact opposite of what I had been trying to do. You know, I was trying to do long form, I started short form. I was trying to do scripted, I did unscripted. I was trying to make it like ultra premium, I made it as premium as I could make it with just having 2 cameras and my 2 friends that shot the first 10 episodes. So it was just thinking that maybe all of these distractions are taking away from the core central idea of a show about takes, you know? And like, why does it need to be longer than 2 minutes?
Yeah.
And for a while I was like trolling, and in the bio it just said like the shortest podcast you've ever heard. And it wasn't distributed on traditional podcasting platforms. It was like distributed on TikTok and Instagram exclusively. And so just like trying to be like subversive and a little more punk rock and untraditional.
And when you were talking about scripted, obviously you did have ambitions for it for this scripted cinematic podcast, which maybe will one day exist, and we'll all be watching and listening. But I feel like I get asked this a lot in terms of the scripting of my show, like that, like how much is Chicken Shop Date scripted? How much of it is improvised? And obviously, with the background of our show is that I write the questions with a writer. We do so much research, and then I come with my questions prepared, and then obviously half of it is, well, a lot of it is improvised because I have no idea what they're going to say. But I also love going into the dates with an idea of the questions I'm going to ask and the angle, because I'm always trying to get something out of a guest that people haven't seen before. And to do that, you have to watch so much of the stuff they've done and read all the things that they've done and think, cool, what is the angle for this? And that's something I find so rewarding and what I love most about the show. How scripted are your subway takes?
Mine are, again, 0%. There's zero research. Usually when I have like a big guest, the most amount of research is like 15 minutes before we're shooting. I'm like listening to a podcast about them, just trying to get like the main information, like what are they working on and what shows have they been on. But it's, I've grappled with wanting to do what you do. Because I do think, and I'm gonna start trying this, and this is an open dialogue, but like, I think that in the preparation, you do find real magic that I don't necessarily find sometimes, because my show's just about hanging out. Like, there's not really a goal or a point other than just, what is this person like when they hang out with a friend? And when you do research, like, how long does that typically take?
I don't know, it can take a few days to like research someone, but also if I, for example, know that I'm going to be interviewing someone and I've got about 3 weeks, I'll do the bulk of the research, but then things will just keep popping up that I just write down in my notes. I'll think of another question. And even like, for example, like on the way to film with Daniel Kaluuya many years ago, one of my favorite episodes, on the way to the shop, I thought of the idea to say the opening line, which is like, I'm a fan. And then he goes, thank you so much. And I go, of chicken nuggets. And that was like one of my favorite jokes of the show. And I just thought of that on the way there. So things just, and even sometimes when I'm in the shop and I get there an hour before and I'm like going over my questions, and sometimes I can like think of another question that I want to ask them there. But we've had lots of conversations, like I've hung out with you a lot in New York and you in London. And I feel like you do prep quite thoroughly for your episodes, even though you're saying it's like hanging out. And I feel like you also, I think maybe you could talk a bit about the criteria for someone to come on Subway Takes, because I think most people assume that you've just literally found them on the subway, but that's actually not the case, especially with the earlier episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always been, from day one, it started as like people I knew and people who they knew, and it was like a network effect. And my goal was to present a platform of discovery for like artists and comedians, mostly stand-up comedians, because I kind of put down stand-up comedy and pivoted to this pretty early on because I don't like being out too late. I don't like working late, but I do like being out late. But
daytime comedy shows aren't always the best.
It's just a little easier to make. And so it's always been like, hey, this, my friend is in a band, or this guy is a stand-up comedian, or this woman's a painter, or this person's a filmmaker. And it was like, how do I help everyone in a way? And then as the show got bigger, the amount, and I'm sure you get the same, which I want to ask you about, like the power of no, because very early on there was an option presented to me, which was like, make this. I publish once a day, so 7 days a week, so 365 episodes a year. They could all be celebrities. Like, there are so many pitches happening constantly, and I try to be around like 1 out of every 20 episodes is what I would consider a celebrity. How do you decide? Because I'm sure your pitches are amazing. Like, you have amazing people on the show. How do you decide who to say yes to and who to say no to?
Well, obviously the journey of Chicken Shop Day has been over a decade now, and like the kind of talent booking side of it has changed completely. Like when it started as a column in a youth run magazine, I was just finding friends of friends, you know, someone with like one song on SoundCloud who I would persuade to try and come with me to a chicken shop, and that's how I kind of developed the format through friends and my network. And then it took ages for me to try and persuade people to come on the show, because 10 years ago, it was just so not the thing that a celebrity would come on a YouTube show as part of their like promo plan at all. And so one of my main like stumbling or like hurdles that I've had to go through with the show is trying to persuade people that Chicken Shop Day is a great format to come on to like not just promote what you're doing, but also as a way to show your personality and connect with your audience and beyond. And I guess now, like, there's a really big queue of people who were banging the door down, trying to get into the chicken shop. But I'm very picky, you know. I think you should be picky when it comes to dating. And I feel like my sister works on the talent booking side with me, and we're always talking about like star quality. Like fame is not a criteria for Chicken Shop Day. Like just because you're the most famous person or you have a giant audience or you're like of the moment, it doesn't necessarily mean you're the right fit for Chicken Shop Day. You have to have this star quality, like an essence within you. But I also feel like you have to have like a passion for what you do that kind of goes beyond like just fame for fame's sake. And I feel like my taste in music is so broad, and my taste in art and culture is so broad that I really always want to have a mix of different genres. And of course the show started predominantly with UK rap music, and so those artists were always like front and center for me, and I still try and represent them as much as I can as the through line of the show. But yeah, I feel like passion is something that I really care about as well, and credibility. A credible artist is always someone that I want on the show.
And when it started as a column in a magazine, and you made the leap to video, but that was 10 years ago. And right now if you were to start a show, most people's first thought would be like, I'm going to make a show on YouTube, or I'm going to make a show on Instagram, or I'm going to make a show on TikTok, or whatever it is you decide to make a show on. But you kind of had this idea well before other people did. Like, what drove you?
I'm a trailblazer.
Yeah, you are a trailblazer. Well, what drove you to choose? Because video is so much harder. It's so much more work.
I think writing is so hard, honestly. If there are any writers in the building, I feel like writing is one of the hardest things to do. When I'm writing, I'm like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And it's like so embarrassing and awful. And then but then the feeling of when you've written a piece or whatever, it's so exhilarating that you end up carry on doing it. That's why you do it. But I've always found writing so hard. And for me, when I was doing the column and I had my like voice recorder, my friend would take photos for the article. I was playing the persona that I have on the show, with like exaggerating the awkwardness and like being deadpan and sarcastic to like more of an extreme level. And I always just thought, this would be really fun if it was filmed. And it also was kind of the same time that video journalism was like getting bigger and like more exciting, and platforms like YouTube were becoming more popular. But originally, I actually only remembered this the other day, I wanted to upload onto Vimeo. I was like, never mind. Well, can you get it? It's close. I feel like my dress is going to fall apart. I really wanted to upload to Vimeo because I was like, Vimeo is super serious. It's where it's premium. It's where all the artists are and all the directors. And I'm going to upload my videos to Vimeo. Good job I didn't actually, because obviously YouTube is just the perfect place for it. I mean, anyone with access to the internet can upload a video and anyone can go on it and watch it. And it's meant that my audience is so global. And the fact that there's no barrier to entry, you don't have to pay for it, is just really amazing. And I feel like that's really how I've been able to grow such a big, dedicated audience. And yeah, I'm so happy that it is a video platform. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it was kind of like a no-brainer. Yeah, for it to be video. But when I've told this story before, but at the time of starting Chicken Shop Day, I was also at university at Central St. Martin's, and I did fashion journalism, and my tutors really wanted the final year you have to make do one final project, and everyone was kind of, I was saying coerced, but asked to make a magazine. And I didn't want to make a magazine. I wanted to do video. And all my tutors said, that's a terrible idea. Like, you shouldn't be doing video journalism. Like, what are you even doing? That's just the worst idea I've ever heard of. And they gave me the lowest grade in my class for doing a video project. And I just always believed in video. And look at me now. So, yeah.
The queen of video.
The queen of video, the inventor of video and content.
The inventor. And did you ever have an oh my God, I made it moment, or did they happen often? Are they happening now? Is this
honestly right now? No, but honestly, the exhibition has been so incredible. Like, I don't know if you guys have thank you. I don't know if you guys have got to see it. I feel like I recognize some of you guys from in there, but I haven't been able to connect with my audience in this way before. And also, when you're making things online, you know, you carve out this community online, and you get amazing feedback, and you're talking to people on the internet. But it's such a different thing to actually meet people in the physical space. And I've wanted to do that for so long, and to see all of my brain on the walls, and the story of the show over 10 years, and all of the advice that I've got from what I've learned, everything I've ever wanted to say about the show in one place, and to meet everyone, that has been an I made it moment for sure, is right now. But it's been such a slow burn in a way that there hasn't been one thing that's really been wow. Being on the Oscars red carpet was pretty epic. When I was there, I was thinking, this is pretty good.
You were so good.
Oh, thank you.
You had an encyclopedic knowledge of humans.
Well, we prep so much for those. Oh my goodness. We get a list of over 100 names, and I want to make sure that I have questions for everyone. So me and my sister are doing A-level research. It feels like you're studying for your exams, with all the prep, but then you kind of get there, and then it kind of, hopefully it feels a bit like an effortless hangout conversation, which is like that. Hopefully, yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, but yes, exactly. Do you, with Subway takes, has there ever been a take that's been too controversial to air? And do you ever tell people, maybe you shouldn't say that?
I definitely tell people maybe they shouldn't say that. There's been a couple where I've been we shouldn't do that.
And then what happens? They have to think of something else.
Yeah, and it's mostly to protect them.
Yep. It's so nice.
I've had one. I've only not published maybe 3 episodes total.
Okay.
One of them.
Yeah, can you tell us?
Well, one of them I think many people may know about, and I don't want to talk about it that much, but Kamala Harris.
Oh, yeah.
Another one was, it was really misguided attempt to be political, but it was just not, it was wrong. And I was I wanted to publish it, but I sent it to the person who did it, and I said, hey, I want to publish this. If I were you, I would not do it. And I sent it to her, and she was like, I agree with you. Can we kill it, please? And I was like, of course. You know, because I'm not a journalist. I get offended when people call me a journalist, and I get offended on behalf of real journalists. I'm and I was called a journalist once by a journalist, and she was annoyed on Twitter and was like, I'm so sick of all these journalists interviewing celebrities. I was like, lady, you're a real journalist. Calling me a journalist is bad. I'm a clown. I'm a silly clown on the subway. And at the time, I was wearing the big suit. It was in the beginning.
Oh yeah, I love that suit.
Because I was treating the show as a total joke at that point.
The suit.
I kept the jacket for when I do my exhibition.
Oh yeah, you got to have that framed.
But I got rid of the pants.
That's so interesting that you don't see yourself as a journalist. I can understand where you're coming from. I don't know. I feel obviously, there's so many different types of journalists, and journalism is such an important part of our society. But I also feel the landscape is shifting and has been shifting, and things can evolve, and every industry should and can evolve. And I don't think that journalism is beyond the point of evolution. And I feel there's so many, social media in particular has allowed so many different voices to speak about something that they know very well, things they know really well about. So I feel like, like even from blogging and Tumblr to then like Twitter to YouTube, I feel like there are people who are commenting on things or uncovering things or speaking their mind on things. And I don't know, I feel like you can call a lot of them journalists. And there are some journalists that call themselves journalists, like for example, like tabloid journalists, and I think the stuff that you write about, you shouldn't be able to call yourself a journalist. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I have more of a, not an open mind, but I definitely wouldn't mind someone calling me a journalist. Oh, I do also have a degree in journalism, which
Me
do.
too. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like
look at us.
you're partly a journalist. Just because you're funny doesn't mean you're
No, but I'm not
a
trying
journalist. But I know where you're coming from
I
because.
don't want the responsibility.
Okay.
Because a journalist wouldn't say, I think that this makes you look bad, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill the video.
No, sometimes they would.
Not because it makes them look bad.
Yeah. I do feel like, though, like, I've spoken to other people who host shows as well, like podcasts or different things, and I feel like often we are wanting to be kind to our guest because we understand that, like, sometimes you can say things and they actually, the meaning doesn't come across correctly. And when we're editing the videos of Chicken Shop Day, like often I feel like we're so particular in the edit, and the vibe that I got when I was on the episode, sometimes when I watch the footage back, it doesn't really come across, and I have to be meticulous in the edit to make it come across the way that I felt it. Like, for example, like with Ben Stiller, I loved that episode so much when I was filming it, and I thought it was hilarious and brilliant. And then when I was watching it back, some bits just like were feeling not like I feel like they should have, and like when I was there in the moment. And so we re-edited, and then we got it to how it was feeling. So I don't know, it's an example of like being kind in the edit. I think it's important.
And has the format evolved from the first video? Like, have you changed it at all, or is it exactly the same all 110 episodes?
Yeah, it's actually exactly the same.
That's incredible. That's so
and
sick.
I feel like it's maybe like a lesson in like just like sticking at something, and like when you believe in an idea or in an idea, just to kind of persevere with it. And also it's quite a simple idea, and it's also something that stands the test of time, that can connect with anyone, which is a date. Everyone can relate to going on a first date, and I think that because it's something that is so just can connect with anyone, it means that it's been able to go on for as many years as it has. But I definitely feel like I've grown in confidence. The first episodes, I'm not talking as much, and I let the other person lead more. And now I feel like there's some episodes where I really kind of like take charge. But that's also because I've grown up with the show. Like I was 20 when the first episode started, and now I'm in my 30s. So it's just kind of the evolution of that. I wanted to talk to you a bit about location, because we both have very iconic locations that we choose to make our shows in. How important do you think the subway is to the subway take?
I used to think it was really important, and I think in establishing the show, it was. Like I do think that it was an important part of the premise, but. We've been offered to do it on gondolas and on, boats and in cabs and in this and in that. And I was really, really resistant to doing it anywhere other than a subway. So we came to London and we did it in the Tube.
The Tube.
And that was like a year ago, and people were really happy, and they were like, okay, cool, it's in the Tube. And then we did it in Paris on the metro, and people were really happy. And then we did it on the U-Bahn in Berlin. And so I realized that I can travel with it and have a lot of fun with it. And then recently my band was playing a show at Newport Folk Festival. And they were like, well, while you're here, do you want to try doing it on a boat? And I was like, oh, my audience might get really upset.
They're not like the boat. They might be seasick.
But I was like, you know what? We'll try it. We'll shoot them. No guarantee that I'm going to publish them. We'll shoot them and we'll see. And people were, again, they were really happy, and they were encouraging me to do it in other places. So I do think, I like limitations, and I like containers for my content, and I like a challenge. So I do think I have to be in transit. I can't.
Clearly.
I can't just do it at
Roller skates next.
Well, I don't know if I have to be sitting in transit.
No, don't. It's too dangerous rollerblading. I actually injured my elbow.
Terrifying.
If anyone's seen the cooking show and you saw me fall over, I don't know if there are any.
You had a cooking show?
I had a cooking show. Yeah. Well, I can't cook, so I thought, why don't I just do a cooking show? And I don't really I'm not a foodie, so I thought, perfect, I'll start a cooking show. It was I actually think it was a very underrated show, actually, especially the Ramesh Ranganathan episode and the H episode.
And was that also on YouTube?
It was on YouTube, yeah.
Okay,
you can watch it when you get home tonight.
I'll watch it. Well, when I get home tonight, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, exactly. See, carry
I'm in
on.
London for 48 hours, but I think I'm going to stay home in my hotel room and watch Amelia's videos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously.
That works.
I had a question. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about the location of my show. So with the chicken shop, I feel like the conversation that we have in the shop, that could actually be anywhere, because really what we're both kind of saying is it's the conversation that's the most important thing that people really are drawn to. But I do feel like the chicken shop is so important in so many ways, but it's also that familiarity of you're seeing the colors of the shop, you're seeing the setup, and you really know what you're getting into. And I feel like audiences really kind of find it really comforting when they can see the same setup. And I do say that to people who want to start their own shows. I do think it's important sometimes to have it in the same place. I think often when you're moving around locations, sometimes it can be hard for people to understand the story and the vision, and also especially with the algorithms and swiping through, you want something that's kind of recognizable. And I think that's really helped with the success of our show as well.
And was the chicken shop always the one? It was just I'm not the one location, but it's got to be in a chicken shop.
Well, yeah, because the idea came from being in the youth club, and the idea first was I want to go on a date, and then someone said you should go on a date where you would never go on a first date to make it funny, and that's how the chicken shop element happened. So it was kind of coming from this place of how can we make this funny and how can we make this comedic? But I also feel there is something about eating when you're doing an interview that actually makes people more comfortable. And Sean Evans with Hot Ones, I feel that's another great example of it's almost having a prop, or having something that makes you feel, again, more at ease. And I feel the food does that with my show, and I feel being on a subway or being on a moving transport, whatever it is, actually puts people at ease a bit more. What's it like filming with so many people on the carriage? Because I used to film with the shop being open. That was a terrible idea. We had to keep stopping and starting when everyone was ordering.
That is what happens in the beginning. You were I got to do this. I can't pay anyone. Can't close the shop. So you just.
That's why we opened the shop, because I didn't have any money to close it.
That's so cool.
I
will answer it. Yeah. So. My show's it is a live show. So the people on the train are enjoying a talk show while they're going to work at 9 in the morning or 11, and most of the time, I'd say 99.5% of the time, everyone's really happy to see us and is having a good time. I have a small crew. We get in, we're really stealthy. We try not to make a fuss. There are challenges, but that also adds to the charm of the show. Mm-hmm. I like that it's imperfect. I like that it's unpredictable. I like that, the celebrities that come on the train, they don't come on the train in real life most of the time.
It humbles them. It's like stepping into a chicken shop. When Cher steps into a chicken shop,
Exactly.
Same thing. You should get her on.
You should get her on.
I've got her on.
I know, I was making a joke. Get her on again.
I was another one to add to the watch list for tonight.
It makes them vulnerable, because they're in a public setting. Most of them don't bring security. I don't have security, so it's really interesting to watch it happen, and people are really respectful and cool. I don't know if that's. I feel like they'd be respectful and cool in London. They were definitely respectful and cool in New York. I can be with Ethan Hawke or Kate Blanchett, and people are just awesome. That guy's saying no. Well, that's also a gender issue, probably.
Yeah, a gender issue. No, I love having security. It makes me feel like amazing. I forgot my question now that I was going to ask you. Oh yeah, I was going to say, well, beyond subway takes, you obviously there's so many other things that you've done and you want to do. I know you've made a feature film and you're also in a band. I just wanted to ask about like how important are those other types of creativity to you? Like how much value do you place on being able to like have a creative outlet that isn't just subway takes?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest fear and kind of a gripe of the algorithm, all of them, is that, and the internet as a whole, is that it wants you to be a one-dimensional person, right? It wants you to be known for this one thing, and it wants you to do that one thing over and over and over and over. Whether you're a fashion person or a sports person or a comedy person or whatever, it's really hard to be a three-dimensional person online. So it's very important for me to try to show people other parts of myself, right? Because on my show, I'm playing myself plus, 30 points of like weirdness and like people, when they meet me, they expect to see a crazy person, but I'm honestly a pretty mellow guy.
Pretty mellow, yeah.
A pretty mellow, chill guy. And so the band, the music, the shows, the other show, I have another show called Keep the Meter Running, the movie, like all of that is to allow myself to be a three-dimensional person like everyone else is allowed to be. And with you, how do you decide what to pursue next or what to pursue in parallel with Chicken Shop Date?
Well, I've always just loved storytelling. And I feel like with, sorry, my sister's laughing because I feel like the word storytelling is like a bit, but I'm a storyteller. And I feel like with Chicken Shop Date, like that is the story of a date. And well, obviously, it's a story of a date, but I feel like we're so particular with like the story arc even of the episode. And like, are we going to get on? Is it going to be the love of my life? Are we going to like hate each other? And I try and like create that in the edit. And so I've always loved that aspect of it, of editing, of producing as well, and shaping every part of the show. And I really want to do that beyond. I would love to, I'm writing a TV series, it's in development right now, and I'd love to make a movie. I'm like, there's 2 TV shows that I've been writing myself, but the thing that's different with YouTube than with scripted shows is there's so many people that have to say yes for you to be able to make that happen with a scripted show on like broadcasters, whereas the thing with YouTube obviously is that if you have an idea, there's no one telling you you can't do it other than yourself. And so I found that quite hard actually, because it's such a slow process. There's so many people that have to give you the green light, and also the funding, I could make a film, I know you have, but then you also have to get the money to make it, and it's really challenging. And so because I've been putting so much into Chicken Shop Date and all of the other work that I do, it's also about time, like having the time to write. As we all know, I don't like writing, so or find it really hard. So it's about time as well. But I've always, the moments that I do have to focus on those other projects, I love, because it can get really overwhelming, like being the front and center of everything, like, and the self-promotion aspect of my job, like more and more I do find it to be quite intense. And I've really enjoyed the times where I've been involved in projects where I'm actually not in them. And I think that's actually what I would love to be doing more of, is being involved in projects or supporting other people to make their vision come to life, so that I can still be creative, but I don't have that added pressure of like being the person in it. So I would love to be doing more. And then with Dim's Inc. Academy, which is like our summer school that we launched this year, which is all about getting young people who don't have access to the creative industries, the tools and the resources they need to like be more confident and have their own portfolio pieces. That has been so rewarding for me, especially as it's kind of born from the youth club that I started out at. And I would love to grow what we're doing with Dim's Inc. Academy more, because again, I personally find it really rewarding, and it's amazing to be able to be a part of like other people's creative journeys and not just everything to be about me. So yeah, I think that's just those are the kind of things that I love.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've ever received? Oh my God, that is so hard. Maybe Maybe like when my sister just tells me to chill out, like she's like, can you just like relax? Or she sometimes says like, no one's thinking about you as much as you're thinking about you, like, you know, like no one's actually thinking about you that much, like, so it doesn't matter. And I think sometimes it's quite humbling to be told that, like, you're obviously overthinking everything and like the way that people are thinking about you and that you're presenting to other people, and actually they're all doing the same about themselves. So actually it's okay, and don't worry so much because people aren't thinking about you that much, really. What about you?
One thing that I was told long ago is it was so simple, but it's just like, just keep going. And I see it still, like people will, it's just like such a powerful words of encouragement to just keep going. So that is always kind of in my head whenever something fails or when something I really wanted goes away. Which happens constantly still. So that, and then...
I agree, and that's a big part of the exhibition as well, because like there's so many pieces of advice in there about like perseverance and like being persistent with your idea and having belief in your idea, and then also like being consistent. I feel like is a great piece of advice, because if you're consistent in something, then you know I really believe with consistency and then also belief in your idea, like it will happen for you. It just might not happen in the time frame that you thought it would. Yeah, for sure.
That's yeah. Don't expect and don't expect anything. I go into so many things not expecting anything. I'm just like, I'm gonna do this because I feel like I need to do it. That's enough reason for me to do it. Like the band started as a joke because
I feel like a lot of things started as a joke for you.
Yeah, I mean, my whole life started as a joke.
Maybe that's
moving to New York.
Write that down, everyone.
It's true, because I think if you don't take it too serious, like you know what you want, but don't expect to win right away. Like it's like a lottery ticket. Like it happens. It's awesome when it works, but most of the time, it doesn't work.
Yeah, and it's so much of it is luck and timing. I feel like, yeah, don't get your hopes up, guys, and then you're always pleasantly surprised, but rather than being disappointed.
And it feels great.
I think also don't, like, something I often say is like, don't wait, make it yourself. And I feel like that's something that I've done, and often when I'm feeling stuck and things aren't going the way I want to because I'm waiting for replies for people, or I'm waiting for someone to say yes to doing something, I should probably often listen to my own advice and just do it myself, because I do feel like it's definitely harder to do that, but at least you're like starting something and you're on the right track.
And it feels good. It's like making pottery with your hands, and you know we don't use our hands that much. Maybe it's not like making pottery. Wait,
yeah, go on, you go first.
You go first.
Well, I was just looking at some of your most watched and shared Subway takes, and I noticed that the majority of them are by women. So I wanted to know, do women just have better opinions?
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, I do think that, well...
100% agree?
100% agree. Yeah, no, I don't know why that. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that too. Thank you. That's some.
You were doing research on my show.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
That's great news.
Some of my favorite ones, actually. Like one of my favorite ones is the woman who talked about incels not being real.
She was so good.
That was so interesting because obviously a lot of people do say something controversial or like something you think is going to be like, oh, that's obviously not true. And then when they explain their answer, you think about it a bit differently. And I really love that one. I also loved the Austin Butler one recently.
He was so great.
His one was about never being invited to be on a bachelor party. Is that what they're called?
Yeah. A stag party.
A stag do. And I just thought, wow, Austin Butler would be so great on a stag do. I want to have a stag do just so Austin Butler could be there. Actually, maybe he could just be the groom.
Yeah, he'll have to be the groom because that's the reason he's never been invited to a stag party, is because he's too attractive and cool.
He is.
Nobody wants to put him in the friend group. I had a technical question. I had a technical question for you.
Yeah.
10 years of YouTube. Is there anything, like, do you focus on optimization and like, because a lot of people on YouTube are like, you have to focus on optimization and titles and thumbnails and this and that and all these things that are like very technical. And if you are doing it, it doesn't look like you're doing it. So I was wondering if there is any of that more technical knowledge that you're putting into the content.
I have to be honest, a lot of my technical knowledge comes from my amazing social media lead, Ashley, who's actually here at the back right now. And woohoo, Ashley. And she is amazing at knowing all of the like tips and tricks when it comes to like posting on YouTube. And obviously I do know them too, but like there are so many best practices like across YouTube and other social platforms where, you know, like having the right kind of thumbnail or like what the title should be of the video or even like the length of a video. And those things actually do pay off. But I would always say like you shouldn't be making a video with those things in mind as the first thing. You should be making a video with, when you're watching it back, you're like, do I like this? Is this funny? Is this meaningful? Or whatever your like metrics are. Like that should be the most important thing. But I do think that the people who succeed the most in this like digital age are people who are like literate in like the digital landscape and savvy and like clever when it comes to those things. I do think there's a skill in that. And I think it's important to like to know those things too. But again, the idea is the most important thing, and like you watching it back and your friends loving it is like the most important thing. That's actually all we have time for with this conversation. I could talk to you for hours, as you know.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
It's been great. But we do have time for some questions. So there is some mics going to be passed around. So if you could put your hands up, Naomi will give you a mic. Over here at the front. Ellie? Yep.
Thank you guys so much for that. It was so insightful, very interesting to hear what you guys and your guys' journey. My question was, what are your best tips for interviewing guests and like getting the most engagement and like kind of rapport out of them? Because I'm trying to start my own kind of interview series called Sharing the Stairs, and I want to know how to like engage the people that I interview.
Flirt.
Don't tempt me, Amelia. Don't tempt me.
Kareem does it too.
I think you play it cool. I'm more like make them feel really comfortable and at ease, and yeah, be cool, man. Like, yeah, I guess it's like a date, but be cool. Be cool about it.
Yeah, or like I feel like I always go about it like I'm like just pretend that they're already my friend. Like when I meet them, I'm just like, okay, we're friends, and it's my own delusion, but it really works. So I would kind of go about it in that way. Well, if you're interviewing celebrities or just in general, if you're interviewing anyone, I just think go about it. You're on an equal playing field level. You're going toe to toe, and you're both equals. Like that's how I think you should approach things, because then I feel like it creates such an easy and a warm conversation.
And honestly, one thing that I do on purpose is I smile. Like the minute we lock eyes, big smile, handshake, or a hug if they want a hug. But it's just like inviting them to be comfortable, and that this is, you know, it's not the end of the world, because they've probably done 7,000 interviews, and I think I really think a smile goes a long way.
Even an awkward smile. That could be good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, we've got someone over here in the dark jumper, in the black jumper.
Amelia, first, before I ask a question, I want to say big up on 10 years. I've been here since the Gets episode. And,
OG fan in the room.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you guys, you guys have a similarity in that you guys have pretty simple premises for your shows that are easily relatable worldwide, and you guys put a lot of work into them. Amelia, what is it about you that is curious about putting people that wouldn't be seen in a chicken shop in a chicken shop? And then Kareem, what is it about you that with Keep the Meter Running and Subway Takes, what is it about chatting to ordinary people in the places they are supposed to be that kind of brings the best out of your content?
Well, I feel like I've always just wanted to have people in the chicken shop that I'm a fan of. Like, I would never interview someone if I didn't genuinely like their music or their movie or whatever sport they were playing. Like, I feel like it has to come from I have to be a genuine fan, and I hope that like that is actually what shows within the episodes. I feel like I think that's maybe why they resonate with people, is because you can see that I've been very particular with who I have on. I get, as we spoke about before, like I get so many emails with people who are promoting something now or they want to be on the show, and there are so many different other shows that I feel like do just get anyone who emails on, and I just would never do that because it has to feel authentic to me. So yeah, I think it just always comes down to like I want to invite people on the show that I want to date, you know? If I have a crush on them, it helps as well.
I'm ditto on the celebrity part. It's like, who have I always wanted to meet, or who do I want to meet? And I literally go like, I would love to meet that person. And then with the rest of the people, which is 95% of the show, it's like, who do I think would be entertaining, and who could use this? Like, I want them to be a person who's a stand-up comedian or a musician or an actor or an aspiring director or a writer. Like, I'm just trying to help the community in a way, but only to people who I guess have something going on or like are trying to pursue their own dreams. So I try to leverage it as a platform that is now seen by millions of people. And kind of, I saw an amazing comment that was like, one day you see John C. Reilly, and then the next day you see like a filmmaker living in their mom's basement selling their plasma to make their first feature. And it was back-to-back videos. And I was like, that is exactly the right feeling that I have about the show, is that you put them on an equal playing field. And like, when we shoot celebrities, like, they get the same treatment as when I do the other. And sometimes I'm like, I don't have time, so you gotta join this shoot with 5 other people, and it is really funny. And then they're just like I had a huge musician on the other day, and he rolled up and he's like, "Are all these people coming with us?" And I'm like, "Yep." And he's like, "Oh, okay. I thought this was going to be a whole thing." So, yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Thanks for your question. Yeah, I think we have someone here in the front as well. Yeah.
Both of your shows, I'd say, have quite comedic elements.
Thank you. We hope so. Thank God.
No, I know from journalism, you've spoken about Louis Theroux being a big hero of yours. Do either of you have big comedy heroes who you watched or read their stuff growing up, who influences your work, or who do you love comedy-wise?
Ooh, that's a good question. I love Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. I'm such a fan of SNL, and I love their work on both SNL and also the movies and the TV that they've made. I also love Amy's podcast. I feel like it's amazing. And I used to watch Parks and Recreations before I would film an episode of Chicken Shop Date, because I really resonate with Leslie Knope, and I just like watching her performance as Leslie Knope really put me in a funny mood, and then gave me the energy to then be funny on Chicken Shop Day. So those two stand out for sure.
For me, it was always Robin Williams. I just think he's just has this positive thing where you want to be around him. He's magnetic and charming and zany and funny and childish. And so I've always wanted to keep that thing alive in myself, as being childish. And then I have a lot of memories of my dad watching David Letterman, and me watching it from my bed. I could see into their bedroom, but it was midnight, and I wasn't supposed to be watching David Letterman. But I'd lay in my bed, and I had this perfect angle to watch David Letterman. So I think that's also someone that I've always admired.
Thank you. Yep, someone from the back.
Hello. Hi. For both of you, how long would you say the average unedited interview goes for? And then how long is the editing process? And Amelia, it was really cool to see your editing notes, by the way.
I know.
That was cool.
I know, guys. Honestly, I was really happy about that, because the edit is one of my favorite parts of the process. Thank you for your question. So with Chicken Shop Day, we film for around 40 to 50 minutes, and then we edit it down to around 8 minutes. And we edit, it takes around a week to edit, but that's because I work with an editor, and we kind of do it really sporadically. I don't go sit with him and we just do it. It's sort of, I get sent the whole thing, then I do my edit notes, then he sends me back a cut, and then I do notes, and then it goes back and forth in between my other work that I'm doing. So the turnaround time, the quickest we can do a turnaround of an episode is 2 weeks. And I feel like that's actually really long. I'd be interested to know about your edit, the time scale.
We differ, because for me, editing is like writing for you. It's grueling. I think that editing is, I like the idea of it, but it's my least favorite part. It's my least favorite part, because it's so hard and time consuming, and it's really difficult. But for our YouTube episodes called Subway Takes Uncut, which appear on YouTube, those we shoot for like 45 minutes and they end up becoming like 15. And then on the short ones, I shoot for like 8 minutes and those become like 2 minutes. And the short form is easy for me to edit, and I feel really like, you know, confident in those. The long form it's really hard and challenging.
Do you work with editors?
Yeah.
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 I love working with editors. I feel like, are there any editors in the room? Yes, some do. Yeah.
I love editors.
I love the edit process because I feel like for me, you write the questions and there's the writing beforehand, but then there's another version of the writing that happens in the edit. Like, to me, that is where the story is really shaped. And that's why I feel like I know that I want to do, there's so much more that I want to do, because I know that I could get that joy of being in the edit across so many other projects, because really that's what I love. I just love shaping it and like making it into like what it is. And yeah, I'm really glad that you like the edit notes part, because that's something I'm really proud of.
After I saw your edit notes, I actually was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a stab at it and being positive and excited to give notes.
I think you should do that. If that's
we'll
what you take away from this, I'm really glad.
That's gonna be my big takeaway.
Do you have time for another one? Yeah. In the blue, in second row.
Hi, it's so cool to hear from both of you, like literally icons in what you do, and I'm also a journalism student right now, so really cool to kind of remember those roots. But I wanted to know, given so much of what you do is so short form, and it feels like we're just so saturated with social media that is so kind of clickbaity, super micro attention amongst a lot of us, do you think that's something that's gonna last? Or, you know, if that was to kind of change, do you think you guys would be having to adapt your formats? If so, how do you see that happening?
I love this question. I've been thinking about it so much, because I also feel like it's very oversaturated right now. I think when I started, even when you started, like things have changed so much. And the thing with digital is like it's changing constantly, and it's really hard to actually keep up. I feel like that's another reason why I wanted to do something in the physical space, because I feel like more and more, especially after the pandemic, people are going to want to connect in real life. You've created a community online, or you've been online, everyone's glued to their phones, and I think more and more we're going to actually want to be around people, around real life people. And I think there's going to be more of even more already than as a shift towards that. I think as well, we were talking a bit about it upstairs, about the idea of people having novel ideas and that kind of cutting through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that is the number one thing. I think the length doesn't necessarily matter. I think people are going to have an appetite for short form. I wouldn't worry about it at the moment. I think it's not going anywhere for now. But it's really about having a novel concept that no one's done before. Like, I really think that is the secret to like cutting through. And if you go to New York City anytime in the next couple of months, you will see 500 shows that are all exactly the same. They're all shot in Washington Square Park, which makes no sense to me because the city's quite large. It would be like, I'm like, I don't know why they're all there. But if you find you just need a tiny kernel to make it different, and I think that is the most important thing for the shows.
I'm really excited to see what's coming next, to be honest, because it never stops. Like it's never going to stop. There's always going to be new ideas and new ways to be creative, and I feel like it just takes people like everyone in this room to then sort of have a spark, and then it becomes more and more obviously we're talking a lot about content creation over this weekend, but I really wanted the exhibition to be about that and beyond, because there's so many different ways to be creative. And, over the course of the panels that we've had so many different interesting people when it comes to events, to content creation, where people are doing amazing things and being creative. And even if you start a YouTube channel and then realize, oh, actually, it's made me meet someone that I'm going to now start a completely different business with, It's like you need to start it's all about thinking creatively, and then it can put you onto so many other things. But yeah, the pace of things is so fast that who knows what might happen. Long form is still super popular too. People are watching 3-hour-long podcasts. I have no idea why, but they are. And then people are watching 1 minute, 30-second videos. So I think there's an appetite for so many different types of entertainment. I love going to the movies, you know. I feel like so many people just only watch things at home now, but I love being in the cinema. And so I don't think it's as clear cut as like, oh, everyone's now just watching 30-second videos. I think we all like consuming so many different types of things. And that's a wrap, Naomi? Yes. I was like, do you have time? Well, thank you so much for all your amazing questions. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you, Kareem, as well, coming all the way from New York City to be here in the amazing London, the best city in the world, sorry. And
I 100% agree.
100% agree. Okay. Well, thank you all for being here, and I hope that was interesting in some way. And again, thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing Saturday night. Bye, everyone on the live stream too.
Thank you.
See you.